In this tutorial, we will take a look how we can make this player jump. As soon as I'm touching my mobile screen, we can see our player game object is making jump or jumping, and we can touch anywhere in our mobile screen. So we're gonna take a look on this. And before I jump into this tutorial, I want to thanks Coleman Villa for taking membership on my Patreon page. And if you guys want to do that, then you can do it on my Patreon page. I will have the link in the description. And with that, you will unlock many benefits such as this game source code, build, and many other things. So make sure you check out my Patreon page. I will have the link in the description. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this tutorial.
Firstly, we need to do something. Basically, we need to do some settings. To do that, we need to move over to top left file, build profiles, and over here, we basically need to switch over to our Android platform just to make sure. You need to wait, and we are Android. As you can see, next to my Android I have this active. If you don't have, you are in the another, let's suppose you are in the Windows, then select Android and you're gonna see a switch platform button somewhere in the top right side inside your build profile tabs. And if I select my Windows, I can see switch platform. So to do that, select Android first and then click on that switch platform button. And after doing that, you just gonna move over to Android settings, and you can make your game for Android or mobile devices. And also we need to make sure that we click on this player settings in the top, and then we just move over to left bar. We can see editor, so select that, and device to choose any Android device. It will be none. To check it out, make sure you just click on it and then click on this any Android device, and it's gonna do that thing. And once we are done with our Unity editor, we can just move over to our screen, mobile screen. And inside our mobile screen, we also need to do some settings in order to play or test the game during development of it. So let's move over to our mobile screen.
Let's install our Unity Remote 5 or Unity Remote 6 in order to test our game inside our mobile device. So let's move over to our Play Store. So I'm gonna find out my Play Store. Let me find this. So Play Store, let's move over to Play Store, and over here we need to search for Unity Remote 6 or Unity Remote 5. So I'm gonna use Unity Remote 5. You can use Unity Remote 6 as well. So let's type Unity Remote and it's gonna pop up. So Unity Remote 5 I'm gonna use, and I already installed it. You can use Unity Remote 6 as well. So we can click on this open button, and also we need to do some other settings in our mobile devices. So for what we have to do, we need to move over to about section of our mobile device. So let's move over to first settings, and then let's navigate to about phone, and over here we need to search for Android version or OS version. Basically tap on Android or the OS version until and unless it says something like you are now a developer. So I'm gonna tap multiple times OS version or build number. It can be anything like that. So make sure you just tap on it multiple times until and unless it says you are now a developer. So I'm gonna tap it, and you can see in the bottom a message just gets pop up says you are now a developer. And what we have to do now, let's get back to our main settings, and over here we can simply search for in the top developer option, or we can just cancel it and we can move over to additional settings of our mobile phone. So I'm gonna scroll down to additional settings, and let's navigate to additional settings, and in the bottom we can see a developer option. So let's tap on it, and here we need to enable the USB debugging, and that is a crucial part. So let's scroll down, and we need to find out USB debugging, and I can see it over here. So I'm gonna enable that, and it says that USB debugging is highly sensitive service intended only for developers, and we know that. So I'm gonna check this. I am aware, and I'm gonna click on this OK for the risk. And now what we have to do, we need to connect with an USB at our phone to with our laptop or PC in order to check our game during development of it. So you need to make sure that you have a USB with you, and connect your USB with your laptop or with your phone with your laptop or PC.
When I touch my mobile screen, I want to make my player jump. So make sure you open up Unity Remote 5 application in your mobile device, or Unity 6 remote. Basically Unity Remote, you can check with Unity Remote 6 as well. So I'm gonna open up my Unity Remote application inside my mobile phone or Android device. So I'm gonna open that up. Let's open it up, and now we can just go ahead and we can click on this play button in the top in order to play our game, and let's check that out. So if we try to touch by now, it's not gonna do at all, because we need to include some line of code in order to make the touch mobile touch. And if we touch our mobile, we want to make a player jump. So let's give it a moment, and now it's done. If I try to touch my mobile screen, we can see that player is playing that attack animation clip. Instead of doing that, we want to make our player jump. So let's get out of play mode, and let's open up our player script quickly, and we need to call the jump function in order to make our player jump, which we already done it. And if you haven't seen that, I will have a video link in the description. You can go and check that out. Let's open up our player script quickly, and let's move over to our update function. So I'm going to move over to my update function, and let's do it in the bottom somewhere over here. You can make it anywhere, it doesn't need to be in order. Let's use this if condition, make first bracket and some curly brackets, and over here we want to check if our touch count input dot touch count, if it's greater than 0, it means that we just touch our screen. Touch count greater than 0 means that we just touch our screen, because if we touch our screen, then it's gonna be 1. So that's why the touch count will be greater than 0. If input dot touch count greater than 0 means we just touch our screen, and we just store that touch into a touch variable. Let's suppose if we touch for the first time, then we can take the first touch and we can put it into a touch variable. And if we touch second time with two fingers, basically two fingers, if you just placed on your mobile screen, then the second touch index will be 1, means the second touch. So since we want to check with the first touch, so what we will do, we're gonna use a function called input dot get touch function, and then make this first bracket, and inside these brackets you need to pass the index of the touch. If you made the first touch, then the index will be 0, and if you touch your mobile screen with another finger, then that touch index will be 1. So we want to check with the first one, that's why we will pass 0, and let's close that up with semicolon. And now what we're gonna do, we have the first touch, we can see, and we can store the touch into a touch variable. So let's put it a touch variable, and that will be touch, and we can call this one touch set equal to this. We taking our first touch and then storing into this touch variable, and we can check the status of that touch. Let's suppose if you just holding if you just placing your finger for too long inside on your mobile screen, that means the touch is holding, and if we lift off our finger from our mobile screen, then the touch is over. So we need to get the touch status. For that, we're gonna use the if condition once again, make first bracket and some curly brackets, and we want to check the touch status. So we will check if our touch dot face means status, you can simply say, or the touch, and we will say check if it's equals to touch face, touch face dot begins means we just started touching our mobile screen. So what we just want to do, we want to print out the message. For now we're gonna print out message. Before we do that, I'm gonna explain one more time. So firstly we taking our touch, the first touch, and we storing that touch into this touch variable that we created, and we checking the touch status, and we checking if the touch dot face, if it's equals to touch face dot begin means we just started touching for the first time. Now what we need to do, we need to make our player jump. To make our player jump, for now I only want to print out message, and later on I just want to call the jump function in order to make my player jump. To print out message, we're gonna type debug.log, and we will say something like make player jump, we touch. So I'm gonna say something like touch screen and make player jump. And that's it. And let's move over to let's get back to Unity editor. And once our compilation is done, we can check that out. You can store the second touch, and the second touch index will be 1. And if you place 3 fingers, then the third finger touch index will be 2. We only want to work with the first touch, so that's why we basically just pass the index of that, which is 0. I'm gonna select my console tab in order to see my messages, and let's check it out. Let's give it a few seconds to play our game. And once we play our game, we can simply touch our mobile screen in order to see that message. And now it's done. And if I try to touch my mobile screen, we can notice that if I move over to my console tab, we touch screen and make player jump, message just gets pop up as soon as we touching our mobile screen inside my mobile device. So make sure you open up your Unity remote application. Instead of doing this, we want to make our player jump. Basically we need to call the jump function where we when we touching our mobile screen. So we can simply get out of play mode, and we can double click on this message in order to move over to that line of code. So let's double click on it, and let's remove this, and let's call the function which is our jump. I'm gonna call the jump function. Let's make first bracket and then close that up with semicolon. And now let's get back to our Unity editor, and you can use these buttons as well in order to make the jump. I will have a video in the description, you can go and check that out in order to make sure that how you can make your game for Play Store, Play Console, and how you can work with buttons. And I'm gonna check this one. Now by now it should work. As soon as I'm gonna touch my screen, it will make our player jump. Simply we calling the jump function when we touching our mobile screen. Let's touch my mobile screen, and indeed we can notice we making our player jump, and we getting some attack animation because of we need to stop doing that. We need to make that basically we're gonna get out of play mode, and we simply need to move over to our over here, and we need to remove this line of code where we saying that input dot get mouse button down 0 means the clicking our left mouse button. If we remove this line of code and then save our script and head over to our Unity editor, and by now if we check basically touch on our inside on our mobile screen, it will make the player jump, and the attack animation will not be played anymore. We can have a look at or look on it. So let's give it a few seconds to compile our script, and let's see that. You can use this button to move left and right, and I can use it. I can dash as well. We can attack. We have the attack button, and the source code of this game will be in the description. You can go and check it out. And if I touch my screen, by now we cannot able to see the attack animation, and we can just move left and right as well. And sorry, it's it's basically working fine. I hope you get the idea that how you can do it. And we can see our player making jump. And I'm gonna get out of play mode, and that's it. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.